How many movies have you watched where a happy couple is in bed, they've just spent a wondrous night together, and now one of them in the morning has to get up and open the curtains, and usually that's the moment when the second person has to wake up. Well, what's wonderful about the new SwitchBot Curtain is neither of you have to get up and both of you can stay in bed. And it's not just the automated curtain movement that is so great here. It's that it's going to fit a ton of situations and you're going to have a ton of options with it. One of the most annoying things about curtains and blinds and all of these different window covering solutions is that there's so many different mounting options, and this is one of the things that I think was so smart by SwitchBot. Their design allows you not only to either mount on a rod type, a U rod type, or an I rod type, but actually in the future, if you get a different set of curtains, you can go and change the attachment here. Plus, you might have curtains on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, or down the middle like me. And if you do that, you have options here. You can either buy a single one to move the curtains all the way across, or you can buy a pair of them and split out from the middle. What's crazy about that is each one of these are able to push 17 pounds worth of curtain, and I haven't been able to stop this device, although we'll talk more about how it works in extreme power situations in a bit. Now, on top of that, there's a battery option here, or actually the whole device is battery powered, but you have this option for a solar panel that you can buy from SwitchBot directly, plug into the back, and then you never have to charge these through that USB-C charger. If the number of options inside the application for a schedule or a specific delay, plus the ability to control it through automation within the app isn't enough, well, SwitchBot's also given us an option for a remote that you can pair with one single curtain or a pair of curtains in order to control this. So not only do you have this option just for direct control of these, but with the hub, we get some more options, including things like the SwitchBot meter, which, in case you haven't noticed, the sun is the biggest producer of heat in the world, and so you can access that. Either you want to get more heat into your home with one of these little meters from SwitchBot, or you want to take the heat out of your home and close those curtains. Well, you can do that and set up basic automation rules inside of the SwitchBot application. Plus, there's even a light sensing beta option here. So there's actually a light sensor on the SwitchBot solar panel that would allow you in the future, I don't think it's quite working yet, but in the future, you're going to be able to sense the light and then move your curtains as you see fit. There's also a silent mode, which we're going to talk a little bit more about, and a performance mode. Now that performance mode, honestly, it pushes those curtains. It's going to happen. You're going to go right through the thing if you have to. But the silent mode slows things down and really quiets it, which I think allows you to use it in a bedroom space versus the performance mode where you could use that anywhere. You have a touch and go mode, or basically a little tug mode, that once you start the process of opening the curtains, well, it's going to continue and finish its movement, and the same thing for close. So that becomes an assistive technology, which is really important for a lot of people. But it goes on from there, and this is what I did immediately on getting these, is I connected it to the Google Assistant, Miss A, or Amazon's voice assistant, and Samsung SmartThings. And there's a bunch of tutorial videos out there from the HomeKit fans that show you how to take it through a home bridge and into HomeKit. So you have all of these different options available to you today. But the one that I did right away was Samsung SmartThings, because I can use all of the temperature sensors, the motion sensors, and I can use my own personal presence and my family's presence in order to open and close the blinds. So I'm able to adjust everything as I see fit with these curtains, just with that combination. Plus, both voice assistants allow me to open and close based on that presence again, and I have the ability to schedule plus open and close with those manual voice commands. One of the reasons I've held off on many solutions for curtains and blinds in general is just that they become obtrusive and they become something that is a longer installation. You probably have to change fixtures that are in your home, and I just don't want to do that in a lot of places. And actually, now that I'm in a rental, I can't do that. So the 5-minute installation that is so easy is something that absolutely blew me away with this. I talked about that 17-pound capability, and the physical ability for SwitchBot Curtain to push my curtains to the side was incredible. And honestly, I was a little worried during the calibration that I would basically run into something and break something. This was so strong. But another thing that SwitchBot has done with the design here is so impressive, because they're actually sensing when they hit one of those barriers, and then they're stopping and they actually regress about half an inch back in order to not break whatever they're running into. And this is so important for the longevity of the device. The battery life is impressive, and actually what you're going to see most of the time is that the battery life just reduces over every day. And actually SwitchBot says you're going to get about 8 months as a maximum. And I would say that you're going to get a solid 6 months if you're moving these all the time, because I've moved them a bunch of times. The percentage never goes down in the battery. So the battery capacity here is actually really impressive. And that's even without the solar panel option. So once you install that, there is no charging of this. And I love the implementation or the design there. It is so simple and it's not ugly as a result. Now, I've more or less been gushing for a while here, but we did run into a couple of issues here, and I want to tell you about those so that you're prepared. Now, the first one, well, I, like most people, went to IKEA or Walmart or somewhere to get these curtains a long time ago. I bought the rod setup actually from Lowe's because I like the look, and I installed these a while ago. And so what I actually have with my curtains is a contiguous spot. So the rod is supposed to go straight through the whole section of curtains, and therefore with SwitchBot Curtain and the way it works, I couldn't use the product. Now what I had to do is take 14 hard dollars that I earned through this channel and buy a ring set or a couple of ring sets from Amazon. Now once I clipped those in, I put SwitchBot back up, bang, we're done. The other problem is likely to affect more of you, and what happens here is you have these transitions in these rod type of installations, and that transition, wherever it's sitting and you're going from the smaller section to the larger section, that can be a difficult point for your SwitchBot Curtain to get over. Now, actually, SwitchBot told both Alan and I as we did these installations that it was because we had demo models that it could not traverse that reliably, but we solved this with a truly Canadian method. And that solution is good old-fashioned hockey tape. And I mean the type that you put around your socks when you're ready to go out and run into people. Now, that is because it's very, it's clear, number one. Number two, it's pretty smooth. And so you can create just this tiny little bit of a ramp. Now, you could use whatever tape you want. The other thing you can do is just move that transition piece. But again, SwitchBot tells us with the newer versions, it's gonna traverse it just fine. That problem is exasperated when we use the silent mode. And actually, I can't believe I just used the word exasperated, but I did in a review, so there's that. Now, usually this is where I say, okay, now go check those links down below and spend your hard-earned money and everything is fantastic. And technically with this device, I would say everything pretty much is fantastic. But from a pricing perspective, as you start to look at this solution, it creeps up to that point where you have other options. Now, don't worry, I am going to tell you a little bit of a solution for that pricing issue, especially if you're a subscriber here on Automate Your Life and you're watching this just as it comes out. So notification, subscribe. I don't even gotta say it. In terms of pricing, I'm gonna tell you right now, you want a hub. You want the Hub Plus or the Hub Mini that goes along with SwitchBot's products. Otherwise, they're Bluetooth connected and you don't get all the smart features. So you're gonna have to price in a hub if you don't already have one. Plus, as you go beyond just these, you might want the remote And these devices themselves are not what I'd call inexpensive. They start to creep up when you buy a pair of them into that territory where you could actually get some of IKEA's automated blinds. Now, on top of that, if you don't want to charge them, if you want the solar panel solution, you're going to have to spend an additional chunk of change to get that. So this starts to add up to the point where doing a set of curtains can be very expensive depending on your situation. Again, I really love the design. I really love what SwitchBot has done here. And down below are specialized coupon codes for you automators that is available for the SwitchBot Curtain on their website. So go check those out. Obviously, at some point, those coupon codes will run out. So go check it out now. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. And of course, don't hate, automate.